Hello again and welcome to the instructional video for the nutritional tracker. Now, this one may be slightly complicated to get used to at first. It really depends on your own Excel abilities, but I'm going to try and take you through everything and make sure this is as detailed as possible. So, first things first, you go to the food database, which is just here, this little tab. Now, I've put an example in to start with, which is just an apple. Now, basically, all you do here is you enter whichever foods you most commonly eat. So I've put an apple there first. How you tend to measure this food, if you track your calories and food measurements and you tend to weigh a lot of your foods, you can, if you measure them in grams, ounces, pounds, liters for liquids, etc., you can put them all there. And the quantity, so if it's measurements of grams, that the quantity basically just means that's 100 grams. And then also the macronutrient breakdown, so protein, carbs and fat, you put the values there. So if something tends to come in a package, I think even apples, if you buy packs of apples now, they have the nutritional information on a label, but you can get all this information online if you just type in nutritional content of an apple. It'll bring it all up on some web page somewhere, or if you use a particular website, you can get all this information freely online, and then just basically put the nutritional values per 100 grams or 10 grams or 33 grams. It literally doesn't matter as long as you put the figures exactly as they appear on the labels. It should work out fine. Now, there's the little day one thing here. This is a link, and that will basically take you there. I mean, you can just click the tab here if you want, but you can also click it there, and it'll go straight to the sheet. You can also go back and forth as well. It's got database references up at the top. You would just press that there, and that would bring you back to this sheet if you wanted to enter more nutritional information specifically for that day. If you scroll down, it's also got day two. So if you create different menus for different days, you just click on day two, go back to database references, it'll bring it up here. You just put your foods in here for day two, then go to the sheet, and I'll take you from there. So we'll go back to day one again, and we'll just use this apple as an example. So we'll just say that you have an apple for breakfast. We'll go to day one and meal one. I've only got up to 6 meals, so if you're one of those crazy people that has 8 to 10 meals a day, then you're pretty much just going to have to combine 2 meals into one meal here. Even if you don't physically eat them, you're just going to have to combine them here for the math's sake. So meal one, I've only got an apple here first, so what I'll do is there's these references here. Now, these figures here, you see it's got number 1 there is apple, number 2, 3, 4, and to 35 are all blank because I haven't entered any more foods in yet. So number 1 is apples. That's the reference for apple, it's number 1. So if I just press 1 in there, in that box, it'll bring it up here as the food and drink, and it'll bring up the macronutrients and what quantities I've measured this in and the measurement type grams there. Now, let's say you only eat half an apple. So say a full apple is 100 grams. Logically, half an apple would be 50. So you eat 50 grams of an apple and put that figure in there. That will then give you the macronutrient breakdown for half an apple and also the percentages here. Again, I can keep adding more apples on there, and we need another half there and another half there. So you can see how it works there. It adds all the figures up at the bottom, gives you a percentage breakdown and a macronutrient tally for each one. Okay, I hope that's fairly straightforward so far. I'm just going to go back to the database where we enter new foods. So let's put some other things in there. I'm just going to make up these nutritional values. I'm not going to look them up. It's not really that important. So let's say oats. And put the measurements in. Where is it? Grams. There it is. Grams, and we'll say that you have. Say the label only tells you what it is. In 50 grams. It only gives you the macronutrient breakdown for 50 grams of oats. And we'll just say it's got 3 grams of protein in there and 20 grams of carbs and 2 grams of fat or something like that. It's not that important. This is just for the example. Now I'm going to go back to day 1, and you'll see it comes up here as oats as entry number 2. So I'm just going to put reference 2 in there, and it brings up oats. So let's say you have 100 grams of oats for breakfast. It'll work out the macronutrient values for 100 grams of oats, and also the percentage breakdown in conjunction with the apple as well. It adds all of these figures up in one meal. So again, I'll just add some more. So another thing, milk. People tend to have milk with their oats. Do it in milliliters. Say 250. We'll just say per 100. Again, I'm just going to make these up completely. I can't even think what they'd be offhand. Give it a higher protein value in there. Okay, now that's for 100 milliliters of milk. So I'm just going to go back onto day 1 again and add milk. So milk will appear as entry number 3. So I'll put that as 3. And let's say you have 250 milliliters of milk with your oats. So yeah, it brings it all up there. I know these macronutrient figures aren't accurate for the items. I'm literally just making it up as I go along, just so you can see how it works on here. So yeah, it gives you the total number of calories, the percentage breakdown, and the total macronutrients of the 3 items added up together. Obviously, you can just keep following this, rinse and repeat, and obviously just plan your different meals. So meal 2, these are all clickable links, by the way. If it's red and underlined, it's a clickable link. So you can just click the links and keep going down, meal 4, meal 5, meal 6, and you can just keep adding the different meals on there, and that's it. Or you can also scroll down if you want to, but I think it's easier to click the meals. Right, that should cover that. Now if we go to the totals bar, this will bring up the whole day's nutrition. So on day 1, after you've added more meals, so we'll just add another meal on there. We'll say you have some more apples and have 200 grams of apples there. I'll go back to totals. You'll see it adds up everything here. Gives you the percentage and macronutrient breakdowns here, and the total calories for the day. You can also put your calorie aim in there. So if you're aiming to hit a certain amount of calories, you put that figure in there. And what that will do is, for the meals here, while you're planning things, it will say calories left to use, and it will give you a figure there. So as you're entering meals into here, it will tell you how much you've got left before you hit your target. So I'll go back to totals. This box here just brings up the different days. So obviously there's nothing in day 2 or day 3 or etc. yet. So day 1, it just gives you the breakdown of each individual meal's macronutrients and the total. So if you're trying to hit certain macronutrient levels, I know things like low carb diets and that sort of thing are quite popular at the moment. So, you know, if you're wanting to try to keep your carbs low, yeah, obviously this is a good way to track it. The calorie requirements here. Now I've put some formulas in here to calculate a person's caloric needs based on what they enter in the body stat calculator. And this is what the lifestyle thing is for here. So obviously, the more active you are, the more calories you'll need. So that the formula readjusts depending on your body composition every week. Now, personally, I don't put much faith in the calculations, the generic calculations to calculate your calories. It's pretty much a game of monitor and adjust, because there's no perfect formula that's going to give you the exact amount of macronutrients and the exact calorie figure that's going to be perfect for your body. Because it's going to adjust every week. It's not going to be perfect science. It's a rough starting point, and there's not enough information that I can enter here, because your calorie expenditure is dependent on hundreds of different variables. So just entering your activity levels and your body composition things, that is not enough to tell you what the exact amount of calories you need. So if you use this as a rough jump off point, and then obviously if you're gaining or losing body fat, or if you're not on track with your goals, you just adjust it week to week yourself. I mean, as I get a bit more advanced with learning how to do different formulas, I might actually put a formula in there that like sort of a little bit more intuitively kind of looks at your weekly results and actually adjusts the calorie formulas based on there. That's something I've had in my mind, but I haven't really looked into kind of developing that quite yet. So that might be a future thing that I'll look into doing. But for the time being, that should be everything. I mean, like I said, I don't know how well I've explained all this, so obviously I might have quite a few questions with this, but I hope the gist of it is straightforward enough. I know these nutritional apps that you can get on, iPhones and Android applications, etc., and they're very straightforward, but for me personally, they seem quite rigid, the ones that I've used. They don't seem as flexible as this. You can enter the exact quantity. So if you tend to weigh things, like you weigh your oats and you tend to have, exactly 70 grams of oats, you can just change that figure straight away, and that changes everything for you straight away. And also this is more of a proactive approach, as opposed to the reactive approach of calculating your calories as you go through the day. This is a calorie plan, or a menu plan. So you only have to plan this once, and then it's there for you. You just have to follow that plan, as opposed to just, you've decided just to eat whatever you want, and now you're reactively adding that to an app, which, I don't know how people find the time for that. It must be very time consuming. Anyway, I digress. So I'll go back onto here. I think I've pretty much covered everything that I can think of. The rest of it, all of these are just different days. So obviously, if you want a different menu plan for different days, you would just go on the food database and scroll down, and you would enter different food items for different days. I mean, it's good to get, a bit of nutritional variety. You don't want to just be sat there eating, chicken breast and broccoli every day. If you want to plan some sort of interesting meals to keep you consistent over time. So yeah, so obviously just plan different things for different days. Oh, also there's something at the bottom here. You can delete these measurement types if you don't think you'll ever use some of them. So you could just add your own. So there's probably plenty of different measurement types that I've missed out, but these are kind of the more popular ones, or the more frequently used ones. So yeah, okay, I think this video has gone on as long as it should have, or probably a bit longer even still. But like I say, any questions, just leave them at the video or my website, or get in touch by email, and I will endeavour to help where I can. Okay.